Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, welcome students. I hope you started exploring the internet to know what is sustainable development, and then also you might be doing that how ISO 14001, ISO 9000, ISO 55,000 different standards reference I mentioned, and you have started developing your interest slowly. If you read and if you go through that, your interest will automatically grow. There is no alternative of reading. You make a habit of reading whatever comes, and then some of the read materials, make a copy, keep it with you, and on the basis of few read material, make your action plan for developing your expertise and for your own value addition. That how you will be serving the nation will be depending on how you are adding values to you. So, another value addition in yourself is how competent you are becoming for sustainable mining. That is your how sustainable mineral industry is. We always tell that mineral industry will be there will not be any mineral industry when there is no mineral to be mined. So, it is a temporary operation, but there is a sustainability is playing a different role over there, because the human being, for their consumption, metal supply, your energy supply will have to be there. So, to sustain that in some form or other, your mining and metal business will have to be sustainable. So, what we tell about a sustainable mining framework is typically focused on reducing the environmental impacts of mining. When the meaning of sustainability in mining is different, it is in the sense we need to sustain the environment, because mining is basically interacting with the nature. From the nature, we temporarily destroy few things to take out the minerals. Now, once you take out, after that again that things will have to rebuild the environment to make it as a sustainable mine. So, that is why the strategies for the sustainable mining is measuring, monitoring, and continually improving the environmental measurements. Environmental metrics will have to be improved. So, I think this term, that is a sustainable mineral industry, is only then when the environment is remaining sustainable and it is remaining supporting to the human existence. Now, materials and mining are crucial to meeting the global 2030 agenda, but how can the industry meet the demand sustainably? It is a big thing now. Exactly, global 2030 agenda is another international understanding that every country have now prepared that by 2030 how much coal will be requiring, by 2030 how much aluminum will be requiring, by 2030 how much steel will be requiring. These have been estimated by different international bodies, and for that now the world has come out with a conclusions of certain demands. You can search, you can find the net, and you can make this data available. It is available, you will have to just search and find it out. Now, only question here is to provide these things. As we know that we destruct the environment, we do certain damages in the forest and soil and the water bodies, then whether this type of provisioning of minerals could be sustainable, that is the main question. So, sustainable mining should have a wider scope. It should consider the entire life cycle of the commodity, including manufacturing and recycling, because there lies some of the small issues that need to be addressed. And in today's discussion, we will be talking about this sustainability in mining and what is sustainable mining. So, after going through this lecture, you will be able to identify the connections of metal and mining with societal demands. Society has got different type of demands, and then as we say that with the advent of your information science and technology, the way we handle things, the way we learn, the way we interact, the way we do our business have changed. With that, our mining will be having also some connections to them. The transformed world will be require a transformed mining industry also. So, there will be, you will have to identify this, then explain how can the mining industry continue to meet the current commodity demands. That sustainability is also there, that is a present demands, as well as there will be a demand in the next generation. This cross generational demands how the mining industry will fulfill, and suggest actions for sustainable mining. That is, what are the actions you will be doing for this to maintain this mining sustainable. The mining and mineral industry affect all three dimensions of sustainability, as we have said, the triple P, that is our triple bottom line, that economic, society and environment. For that, you will have to see that the mining may affect both positively as well as negatively, because the supply of mineral is necessary, and for that your mining is contributing positively. But that at the time of the mining may affect the local community, local resources, as well as it can have a lot of adverse effects to the air pollution or water pollution or soil pollution. It may release toxic materials, it may generate radioactive nuclides. So, we will have to see under these conditions how mining can be sustainable. And a sustainable mining, whether we can really go to a sustainable mining, then how the government as well as the society, they will have to look into the impacts of mining as a societal impact of mining, and then you will have to see, you will have to have certain laws, rules, regulations, some policy, so that the community as such they can endure it, and their development, their aspirations can be aligned with it. So, sustainable mining is much more than the mining, it needs to be aligned with the societal, economic and environmental requirements. So, what most important here is to know the key performance indicators. Now, this sustainable mining, mine management develops certain key performance indicators for sustainability measurements and reporting, as we discussed in the previous class also. That is a sustainable mining practice, it will be possible when you can improve the key performance indicators. Now, there are various ways. There is exactly we need to identify what are the changes are taking place, that is in the mining industry, in the our overall human consumption pattern, and everywhere a change is taking place. Now, this change has got certain drivers because of certain understanding, because of certain technology advancements. We take up some decisions and activities which are exactly becoming the driver of change. Now, this environmental drivers, that is the growing concerns for the environment is much more, everybody is now aware of, everybody has got a different expectations, and also we know that how the climate change is affecting us. Now, under this environmental conditions, it can induce few activities and few way of doing things, that is whether the sustainable management of your water, your biodiversity and climate is possible with the growing concern of the environment or not. So, that means our people understanding societal expectations on that how they would like to see the future climate, how they would like to see their mining land as a biodiversity showpiece. Now, if it is not there, that how the global warming may impact the overall work over here. So, that is your mining activities, are they going to get directly related to the global warming? So, if those are the environmental concerns which are the driver of change, we will have to take in determining the key performance indicators. Technologically, there are what are the fate of the technological change, how it is taking, whether it is a very highly intensive or it is a less intensive, and for that how exactly the transformation of the processes and operations are taking place. Because whenever we introduce a technological change, and that will be exactly transforming some of the processes and operations. Now, these things, these changes, are they exactly contributing to the betterment? And then those changes will be measured in terms of what? That measurement, that unit, it will be the key performance indicator. Similarly, just like your environmental and technological, you can have even societal, that is your how the societal expectations from the mining industry, that is your whether there is a whether that is a new values are getting created, or that is your new challenges, environmental challenges are given. So, that means whether the society is going to be having a health crisis because of the mine released dust particles or some of the effluents or toxic materials. So, that is why the societal changes which are expected should be very carefully understood, that what those changes mean, and then of course, there will be certain geopolitical situations, whether the government will take certain political decisions by which exactly the ownership of the mineral may be different, whether the state government will be an owner, or the central government will be an owner, or the local self government will be an owner, and if that is there, how much exactly money who will be receiving because of the proceeds from that. So, these are the things. Similarly, there will be geographical issue. So, you can say that is the key performance indicators. They are exactly looking into what are the different drivers of changes, and for that what exactly it will have to be done. So, this is as a policy which comes for that identifying the drivers for change, and then going to plan how to implement it. And that sustainable mining should have a wider scope, it should consider the entire life cycle of the commodity. So, that means If you are doing a gold mining, you will have to see that ultimately that gold produce, where it is going, and its supply chain related, how much exactly things are involved. Many times the Barrick Gold is one of the very famous gold mining international company. Sometimes people used to say that every ounce of gold produced are so dirty, because the concentration of gold ore is very less. So, for getting a very less amount of gold, you will have to displace, or you will have to mine a huge quantity of material, and those material may be having toxic things. And also in the processing of gold from the gold ore, you will be using cyanide, you will be using mercury, and because of that lot of contaminant may go over there. So, is it going to be a sustainable things? So, that means during the whole life of the mine, from that, even after getting it a gold, that gold, when it is made an ornament, whether it is going to be made in some of that, say for example, in the Hyderabad gullies, there will be a lot of goldsmiths working in a very small dirty environment. So, that means their health is also getting affected in a gold related business. So, whole thing when take into account whether such type of things are sustainable. A sustainable mining framework is typically focused on reducing the environmental impacts of mining, whether it is, or also we can extend these things in mining or mining supply chain related all activities. Now, the strategies for sustainable mining will include measuring, monitoring, and continually improving environmental measurements. So, this is very, very important. Now, what you need to measure? The environmental sustainability metrics, you will have to see that the land disturbance is minimum for the mining, but you cannot avoid it. For mining, you will have to get the land, and then, but if you can do an underground mine, you must do underground mining, because otherwise that surface is going to be destroyed. Then the pollution reductions you will have to do, all air, water, soil, radioactive, that's your noise, all these things, pollutions need to be reduced. Then automation has got another aspects of sustainability, because in the automations it may reduce some human interference in the production of the minerals or production of the metals or energy fossil fuel. In that, the automations will improve the quality of life of the people. You are not exposing them to the dangerous situations, and then it can be made sustainable, because it is a dynamic system. Wherever there is a dynamic system, if the system takes care of the system itself, then it becomes a sustainable one. Then there is a electrifications, there are renewable energy uses, that the proper closure of the mine is necessary, and reclamation of the mine land is necessary. So, these last 2 points are very important from the mine closure point of view, but as such generally for whenever we talk of a sustainable mining, these parameters need to be taken care of. Now, focus required on the localized benefits. That means this is another very important concept and an important thing for you. In the past, wherever the mining was carried out, because the bottom line was to make profit, they never considered about the local hazards. That is why you will find in all mining companies, the mining workers where they live in a very shabby, very difficult, different type of conditions. The workers colony was a very, very horrible state, that after nationalization, that our Indian indigenous companies, they have done something good. Even some of the private companies, they have now provided a very good facilities for the miners. But thing is that the local community, as it was to be developed, it never did. Up to 1990s, early 90s also, the road from Bokaro to Ranchi was a narrow lane of only 4 or 5 feet, and their both sides were very disturbed, and want to move from that your Borbil area to Bokaro. It was horrible experience. It took more than 8 to 10 hours. That means we never bothered about the development of the local region where there is a big steel plant. Bokaro used to get their ore from the Jharkhand near Ranchi and this Borbil area over there, but there were no proper communications. People were, even up to 2010-12, when there were the boom of iron ore export from the Saranda forest area, where it was going to the Paradip port, and then the road was horrible for and the life of the local people were just beyond imagination, such a tough because of the environmental damage and the road damages were there. That means the mining and transportations were continuing with damage, as much damage they could do to the society. So that means there were never a comprehensive plan for localized benefit. The mining company were making a benefits over there, their balance sheet showing profits, their colonies in some of the sites and things like that making very good. They may be having a very sophisticated corporate office, but the local people were not having a proper science college. There is no university could be established, no university established any of their outreach wing. Even now, that I think only IIT ISM had one the outreach near the Singrauli coalfield, but no other IITs have got any outreach area in most of our industrial work activities, where people are exactly giving their land, people are working in their community. So that means that focus was not there to the localized benefit. So that's why make individual mining projects less scary may eventually help sustain the entire industry. What has happened? The people have a very bad opinion about the mining industry because it destroys and damages, but because it has been created. But if some of the mining town, if you go near North China, some of the coal mining town, it is the town area is a much beautiful than our even Delhi, because there that localized area where the mining has been done, that part has been developed in such a way. And we say that though of course there are they are not very safety conscious, and there were many mines where a lot of accidents were taking place, but at the same time in some sectors they have done it over there. But if we see the condition of Dhanbad or condition of some of the your Sonpur Bazari or that type of mining locations, that means we have not concerned or focused on the localized benefit. So that is not a sustainable mining. Now this World Economic Forum, they have given a mapping of mining and metal with the drivers of the mining for future, and then how they are related to different societal aspects with that connections of mining. Particularly the mining industry has got, in a future mining industry will have to have a big data, and mining will have to be there. The geopolitics of mining is there around mining of metal. Transition to low carbon economy is expected. Access to the resources for the mining, it is there, they will have to get where the mineral is there. And the modern mining workforce, the modern mining workers, they will be working in a different way, not the traditional one. And then new way of financing the mining, where from the money will come to the mining industry, mining capital, how it will be coming, and the social contract for the mining. Of these 7 drivers of mining, they are associated and related with different things of the society, like digital economy and the society, even the corruption in the society, justice and legal infrastructure, public finance and social protections, your global risks, then this cyber security, sustainable development, artificial intelligence and robotics, geoeconomics, that is your international trade and investment, with Chinese development, with the international security, with Africa, all the mining projects, these are China, Africa, South Africa, US, Australia, Congo even, that there are all mining companies. With that, how it is there, and then the people, that is whether they are aging, their migration, their skill, whether the technology like how the blockchain, the 3D printing, the biotechnology, these are also related to this. So, like that you can find out all aspects of the technology, science and technology, societal, your advancement, and you can see from there number of these links are there, many one-to-one mapping, many to one mapping, and many to many mapping. Like that, when you do the mapping, this gives you a area understanding that how these connections will be working together to get a sustainable mining. And that is why the World Economic Forum's report, I request you please go through, and then you will find that to have a sustainable mining, you will have to understand these links, and you do not delink mining from the other developmental activities. So, the gone are those days in the past when the mining means it was just only for the that is your unskilled people will be working down in the earth with having an axe and will be cutting. Now, the mining, wherever the mine is there, the most sophisticated, most advanced machines will have to be working, most talented people of the world will have to come. You will have to attract the talented and young engineers who are having really some capacity to do innovatively and in a very hard conditions will be working. Mining should not be a place of some unintelligence and that is your unskilled people. If he is not a perfect engineer, he should not be having a chance to go over there. And for that, the communication, the facility, the resource sharing, these things will have to be planned, and then only if the mining flourishes, then the nation's economy will flourish, because it is the main source of supply. Your computer science development, your artificial intelligence development, they cannot build the economy, but the mining, agriculture and the forestry, if they can form the economy, they can contribute for the transportation economy. So, in those all these other part, they will be using your artificial intelligence. So, this is how the sustainability thinking should come. So, World Economic Forum raises some of the questions that will have to be exactly addressed for sustainable mining. That is, what will the balance between primary and secondary commodity supplies look like in the future? That your futuristic study will have to be taken for sustainable mining. Which supporting resources such as water and energy face the largest risk of scarcity and cost increase due to the mining? That water and energy, these two things need to be much closely explained and analyzed. What are the long term downstream end use trends that could impact the sector most, mining sectors, how they will be affected by other end use? If the people start that going to the rural interior villages and don't demand energy, don't demand additional things, then of course there will not be demand for mining, but that is a far dream, it will not happen. So, there will be a demands on the material supply and energy supply. Which technological developments will impact mining and metals? What needs to be done to ensure industry can attract the right skill in the future? That is very important. That is what is the skill level required in the mining industry to have a sustainable mining? There is a very skilled computer scientist, very skilled artificial intelligence analytics, very skilled that your biotechnologist or the physicist or chemist will have to work over there, and that the engineers, your skilled mining engineers, domain of expertise are now changing, and that will have to be defined over here. How is regulation being shaped and how the different regulatory speeds being addressed, whether those British made Mines Act and Mines Regulations, how valid today they are, and then how exactly it need to be changed. And already you may be knowing that our Indian rules regulations have been changed in the last 5 years, and a new framework has been created. So, which parts of the business model and overall strategy need to be adjusted in a more sustainable world. So, that is way how exactly we look into it. And that same economic forum, they develop a report on mining and metal sustainable world 2050. There the driver of change they have taken, as we discussed, environmental, societal, technological, geopolitical and geographers, and from there are different themes of transition. That is, these themes of transition means how exactly the change will take place from now to the future, and then there could be different scenario, and which there will be a roadmap for exactly in the metal mining, and then government, your community, investors, civil society, how they are connected together. And this is just to inform you that this book, that is your Mining and Metal in Sustainable World 2050, you please read it for your general understanding. And for actions for sustainable mining, being a transparent and cooperative through the entire development process, it will have to use the best practices and not necessarily doing things in the cheapest way. Earlier mining is that you don't invest money, or capital investment is less, you bring that very low paid workers and they let them work and they will do, and whatever comes out, if we sell, because there is no investment, then they make a lot of profit. So, that is the cheapest way. Now, we will have to change from this, the method of doing the thing in a cheapest way. You will have to focus on long life projects. That means that mining and its paraphernalia, integrated projects, including your mine closure, integrating it to it, it will have to be a long life. So, helping the communities with more local infrastructure improvement. There you will have to do and then empower the society for more livelihood generation. Then promoting business for entrepreneurship that will extend beyond the mine life. Mine is only for 10 years, as I say, it is a very short period, but during mining you will have to create business for the local community that they can be sustainable for a longer time, and that is the basic things beyond when we talk about the sustainable mining. It is not for the continuation of mining, but it is for continuation of economic activities in the mining area, transferring a post closure assets to the local communities. Now, that we have already said that asset management at the time of mine closure is a big issue. So, what we will have to do is recycling and circulatory will be circulatory, that is your we say about the circular economy, that will have to be there for providing metal demands. However, it will depend on the transition management, how you will be managing from the exploration to production, production to closure of production, then the post closure scenario, and then the overall economy generations. So, the thing is that with the activities there, how exactly the return on by investment is could come for a very prolonged or a long time, even after the mine closure is the purpose. Then mining will not disappear and will remain in the foreseeable future through competitive cost effectiveness. It will exist in parallel with demand for environmentally and socially responsible actions, and leading to new partnership and operating models. So, this is mining will be continuing in some form or other, and then of course, the recycled industry, that is a different metal supply scenario will be there. The mining companies have an opportunity to focus on waste treatment, optimization, and they will have to improve the low cost processing capabilities. Whatever the residue are remaining, lean ore remaining, tailings remaining, maybe remining of the tailings for extracting more metals from there, or materials for the future generations will be there. So, mining industry will have to focus on the local stakeholders and the communities. It is a must for sustainable mining, and the mining companies must avoid doing things in the least expensive way. Don't go for a cheaper things. You will have to do a properly planned things. Maybe it is a capital investment, but it is a societal investment, and that societal investment will pay return, which will only make things sustainable, make things possible for the next generation. So, sustainable mining is possible. Sustainable mining, of course, is not only 100% related to the mines minerals and going down the earth or that removing materials. Sustainable mining is an integrated approach. It is a philosophy, it is a concept, and it is how bringing economy and society together and then developing a connections of the mining with the other societal things, and in that connections you strengthen it by a mutual cooperation, so that the resources which the Mother Earth has given can be shared now in such a way that the benefits of it will continuing for our future generations to come. So, today's mining will have to be, the minerals may get exhausted, but the benefits derived from the minerals or the metals which will be coming in a recycled manner, in a different manner, it will be serving the interest of our next generations to come. So, for that we will have to take the mine planning, mine closure planning and sustainability planning in a different way, and our return on our investment will be the social welfare and continuity of our well-being. That is it. Thank you very much.